Welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Edit. My name is Waqar,
And my name's Nick.
and today, me and Nick are going to be talking to you about why we got into the wedding space, what motivates us, and also we'll be sharing tips and tricks that will help you along your wedding planning journey and wedding photography and videography journey.
Absolutely.
So, Nick, just before we jump into all the fun stuff, I think it's important for our audience to know why we got into the industry.
Well, yeah, absolutely, mate. Like, for me, actually, it was an accident, honestly. I started taking photos, 12 or 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I accidentally got into it because when I moved to Australia in 2010, I started taking photos with my brother's camera. And I used to take photos of his niece and nephew and all of that, right? Like my niece and nephew, his kids. So it was fun. He had an old Alpha 200 Sony. He still has it. It's an amazing. Yeah, Sony, right? I started with Sony.
You started with Sony?
I started with Sony.
I started with Canon. Okay, that's another story.
So started with Sony, and then I was like, okay. And I used to go to a local church. So a lady there, she wanted to get married, and she was like, can you shoot my wedding? Yeah. I was pretty paranoid, but I was a student here, and I was like, what can go wrong? She had another photographer, thank God. Yeah. But then I went, shot a wedding, and as a student in 2010, I wasn't getting paid a lot. And then she handed me like $300 for 5 hours of work. I was like, that was more money I made than I used to make working 20 hours a week.
That's good money at that time, man. Yeah, I remember those times.
Absolutely. 2010, man. Like I was on top of the world, but she gave me the money. But the interesting thing that happened was like, I enjoyed shooting her wedding. Like I was filled with so much emotion. Oh. And plus the other thing is like the trust that the couple showed me. It was not their first wedding, but it was the second marriage for both of them. Right. But the genuine love they had for each other and the genuine love they showed towards me. And I was like, hold on, there's something here. There's like, not from the money aspect as well, but as well, like the ability to capture those memories for them was just incredible. So fast forward 3 months from their wedding, she called me home and she had got the photos from the original photographer. And then she goes like, Nick, look at these photos. I actually like your photos more than the actual photographer. And that guy had some really incredible gear, and he just like, he's been shooting for a long time. And anyway, I was like, that lady encouraged me, you know what, you should get into this.
Oh, wow.
So started from Gumtree. I got my first wedding, second paid wedding, but I had one battery, one card. I shot the wedding, full day, 8-hour wedding, and I charged them $1,000.
Oh, wow.
And they paid me $1,000. I was like, sorry, what? These guys said yes. I just took a chance, right? I was like, you know what? What's the worst going to happen? They're going to say no.
Yeah.
So I said, this is what my charges are, $1,000. Literally, I didn't even shoot RAW.
You shot JPEG?
I shot JPEG.
Oh my God.
Right? I shot JPEG. So they said yes. The worst thing was I was living in the Southeast and the wedding was in Sunbury.
Oh, that's a long drive.
I didn't have a car.
There was no Uber.
There was no Uber.
How did he?
And the worst thing is like Sunbury, public transport. I'm not going to rely on public transport to get there. So anyway, all that happened. So that's another story how I got into it. But that's where we started. That's how photography started. But did that wedding, and then I literally caught a bug, and I was like, I did small. But weddings was what I always wanted to do. Like after a couple of weddings, I was like, and I did some birthday photo shoots, did some christenings, this, that. But I was like, nah, weddings is something that I really enjoy. I enjoy the whole aspect about, couples getting together and sharing their stories, sharing vows and seeing, and having the ability to capture that was something special. And then, now I think we're like 400, 500 plus weddings later. It is just the best decision I made. Thanks to my brother for lending his camera.
Sony camera.
Yeah, Sony. Didn't stay faithful to Sony. Went to Canon, but that's a quick intro.
That is so sweet and so genuine.
Yeah.
And the fact that you love seeing those emotions come through, and that's what attracted you. And the fact that people trusted you from day dot as well, that's amazing. And going into a greenfield, because my story is very different. I didn't go into a greenfield.
Tell me, bro.
All right. So my story is a little bit different in the sense that I think the year was 2013. I had just got made redundant from my IT job. And I was a bit lost, to be honest. I don't know where I was going. I was actually getting married in about 3-4 months. So I was planning my own wedding as well. And I was like,
did you shoot your own wedding?
if only I had octopus hands, maybe I could have. And I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? And then luckily enough, I was invited to a wedding, a big Pakistani wedding happening at that time. It was, I think, their 4th event that I was at. And I was in my own thoughts, just sitting at the table, just, being a regular guest. And all of a sudden the lights dimmed. And there was a wedding film that got played on the big screen. There's like 400 people watching this video, right? They're crying, they're laughing, they're cheering. And I'm like, what is this feeling that I'm feeling?
Oh, wow.
What is this emotion that I'm feeling? And I knew at that moment when I saw that film, I'm like, I want to do something like that. That made me feel something. Yeah. And I could see so many audience members also feeling, like the guests actually feeling and connecting with that film. Like, that is pretty damn cool. So my journey was straight into filmmaking. It wasn't into photography at all. I didn't even think of photography because I liked making home videos and stuff like that. I had made a couple of videos with my mates, like music videos to some random Bollywood songs just for the fun of it. Yeah. So I knew a little bit on, how to edit, how to shoot and all that, but I never thought I could do something like that. I was like, oh, this is really interesting. So what ended up happening is I ended up hiring the same videographers that shot that wedding for my own wedding. And then I reached out to them. I'm like, guys, do you need someone to edit for you? They're like, yeah, we're actually looking for an editor. They hired me as an intern. I started my first internship with them, got paid like $300 a week. So 300 but just a different amount of time. Oh, yeah. So you got 300 for 1 hour. I got 300 for 1 week. So very different. But hey, learning curve, right? Yeah. So I started off doing, working with that company, doing a lot of weddings with them. But that was a great experience on learning the Melbourne wedding filmmaking scene, understanding how it works, doing a lot of different cultures from Eastern European to Greek to Macedonian to white weddings, Aussie weddings, all that. And that sort of then eventually led me into the journey of, all right, starting my own brand, doing South Asian weddings and telling stories with intent and purpose. Yeah. And because I still look back to my own wedding film, and I think it's one of those films that I really, really enjoy, and now showing it to my kids as well. I feel like it's a legacy that you got to leave for people, and that really inspired me to get into that whole wedding mindset and shooting films and making films and telling people stories. So I think that was my connection point getting into wedding filmmaking. And I've also dabbled into a bit of journalism, a bit of documentary filmmaking. So I think that also helped me understand my personal style and understanding why. Because one thing I love doing on wedding days is interviewing couples, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And the reason I love doing that is I get to know them personally. I learn about love, and I'm still on a bit of a journey about learning about what love means to different people. And I love just showcasing their love on screen in a very sort of cinematic, documentary, real style way. Yeah. So that's how I dabbled into it.
Yeah, that's good, man. I mean, I work with you so much that I've seen the passion you have. Like, it's incredible, bro. Like, at times, like, I've seen the interviews that you're doing with couples, and the emotions you're able to bring out of them is incredible. Like, it takes a special skill. And the fact that you say that, like, certain things happen in your life, like a redundancy, that, and then just the stars align and you were there and the ambience was there and the videos that played. It's incredible, like, how things come into existence in your life. So, which is pretty cool that you took the calling and you went by it, right? Like, you just didn't shun it away. You took the leap of faith and reaching out to the guys. So, like, whoever the videographers were,
100%.
Man,
they've retired since they're doing other stuff now, but kudos to them and thank you for making me part of your team. It was a lot of fun working with you guys. 100%.
That's awesome, bro. Cool. And tell me, like, how was your experience, like, shooting your first wedding by yourself?
I still remember, like, even just thinking about it right now, my heart started racing. And I could feel not the nervous shakes, but I was like, you remember that feeling very, very well. The first time you're actually getting to a house, doing some getting ready shots with the couple and actually posing them and guiding them. And that feeling you get when you're actually telling people to do something in front of the camera and they're actually listening to you. It's a weird feeling, right? Sometimes. But it's a weird feeling, right? I was very nervous when I shot my first wedding alone, and I was very, very amateur and novice at that time. But I was shooting on Canon 600D. I remember telling my age. There you go. But I remember I shot that wedding without knowing how I was going to put everything together, because even though I had edited a lot of weddings and I was working for another company, managing client expectations, managing customers, and dealing with parents, it's a whole different ball game. Very nervous, but you know what? By the end of the night, I knew, because there was this one moment when we were doing the couple shoot with the bride and groom, and they felt a little lost. They didn't know how to pose and stuff, and the fact that I was able to pose them and get them in positions which worked for film and also got them comfortable, at that moment the nerves calmed and I knew like this is something I can do and I'm actually pretty decent at it, even though this was much early on in the career. It's definitely you're very nervous when you're doing your first wedding, but I think experience builds up over time. Absolutely. And as you said, 400-500 weddings. I don't even know how many edits and weddings after, probably 500-600 plus weddings we've done over the last 10-12 years. I think the confidence builds up and you know exactly what you're doing. And it's weird, right? Because in a wedding, it's a very stressful situation. But I always say to people, like, I find that's my comfort zone that I'm operating in.
Yes. It's funny how it is.
I feel like it's actually a comfort zone. And when all the chaos is happening, I'm at my most calm and I know how to manage everything.
Exactly.
I'm in control.
It's funny how that is, right? Mine is completely weird. I felt like I belonged at my first wedding, while I had no idea what I was doing. I've got a confession to make, like, right? So Gunayara Winery in Sunbury, that's where the second wedding was.
Right.
That was me just primary shooting, like no one else there with me.
So you're alone on your...
By myself, with one camera, one SD card, one battery.
Oh, that's the one you traveled to without having a car.
Without having a car. Yeah. That's another story. Yeah. I don't know if, again, showing my age, but I didn't have a car. I was 21 or 22 and I was not able to go and hire a car from Avis because I was 25, because my budget would have just shot out of like it would have just taken my budget off. So I went to a place called Rent a Bomb in Dandenong.
Oh, I remember that place.
Yeah. So Rent a Bomb, and they rented me a bomb, which is like a 19-something Hilux. And the guy specifically said to me, he's like, mate, you'll get there, but if you've got problems coming back, just give me a call. And at that time, there was no Google Maps. So yeah, there was TomTom, but the most highest tech in that car was an ashtray. So there was no TomTom, right? So I had to rely on, while I'm driving, have one camera in a small bag. And all I had was Melway.
Oh my God.
Got a new immigrant from India driving. Anyway, so that, right? But the thing is, when I got there, I was so at peace. And the funny incident happened when I got to the venue. So the venue manager or someone, great lady, and she knew exactly. She was so on point. I think she got an idea I'm new to this. So she came and asked me, he's like, oh, what's your style of photography? Do you do a lot of candid or traditional photography? I was like, yeah, I do photography. I have no idea what. Is it candid? I had no idea. I was like, well, is there a style of photography? I didn't know what that is. So that's where it started. But I knew this is it. This is what I want to do. This was so much fun. And we both come from a different background. You come from IT, but then you had some journalism background, and we had some... I'm a mechanical engineer. So my mind just works as a mechanical engineer. Like, it is 2, 1 + 1 is 2. It's like very logical. So to switch that off and see the emotion, that how it takes over people and how it changes the room, how it changes, it was just incredible. Like, it was so, like, I felt like I'm in a different world.
That's beautiful.
That made things so, worth it. Like, as I said, there's chaos at weddings and we find our calm in there, but then there's moments like this, you're like, we know what we do this for.
We do this. Yeah. Absolutely. No. And for those of you who are thinking, what's a Melway? So Melway was literally a printed map of all of Melbourne and would get updated every 6 months to a year because new streets would be added. There was no Google Maps or you probably don't even know TomTom. TomTom was an old version of Google Maps.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
just FYI for those.
And for Melway, it's not like you turn a page and you are continuing. So where the road ends, there's a number. You got to turn to that page number to
And then find
start.
the street.
So imagine driving. Anyway, off topic, but that's where we come from. So again, showing our age. But yeah,
come a long way, man.
Absolutely, bro.
Definitely
Absolutely.
come a long way.
Absolutely.
How did we meet?
Oh, the funny thing is, we met, though we are in Melbourne,
Yeah,
we met in Canberra.
out of all places.
Yes. Canberra? Or
Canberra.
Adelaide? Canberra. Yes. Interesting, right? So I was second shoot. Actually, funny. I was predominantly in the Australian or white wedding industry. And I only got into the South Asian wedding industry in 2021 or 22 after COVID. And I was getting some more experience. And then that's where we were shooting together in Canberra.
Yeah,
That's how we met, man.
That was a good
Yeah.
fun experience working with you.
Absolutely.
I was like, who's this guy? I haven't met him before.
Yeah.
But I loved your style and the philosophy and the way you just approached the wedding and the way you made the couple feel comfortable, the way you did the first look with the music and all. It was just very refreshing. And I think I was also going through a phase at that time where I was trying to find a new voice and elevate my voice. So I think it was a great time to sort of bump into you.
Absolutely.
And then we started doing a lot of weddings together.
Yeah. And for me, how it was like we met there, and then I had planned from a business perspective. I was like, I had shot one Indian wedding before that, maybe. And I really enjoyed it. I was like, maybe I should shoot more Indian weddings. But I didn't know how big of an Indian wedding market was there because I was so isolated within the Western wedding business. So Nick, people who don't know, I run Aroha and also Nick Photography. Nick Photography is my personal brand, which is just predominantly Australian weddings or white weddings as such. And in that world, you can be just a photographer and have a business. But soon I realized, like in the South Asian industry, there's almost a need to be like a studio. Need to be like photography and videography under one umbrella.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm absolutely, pardon my French, but I'm absolutely shithouse at videos. Absolute rubbish. And I say that to my couple. So I was like, I was on a hunt. Honestly, I was on a hunt. So like, man, find a good videographer. And I was trying to bring some of my videography friends from the other industry to this, but no one was like willing to. But then when I saw your work, I was like, hold on a minute. Like you got a good head over your shoulders. You look like you're very passionate about what you're doing. You had a really, I would say, a very calming aura about yourself. And I was like, man, this guy knows his deal. And then I talked to you. I was like, oh man, his work is really, really good.
Oh,
I was like,
thank
man,
you. That's too sweet.
Yeah, bro. I was so blown. And I remember showing it to my wife as well. I was like, man, look at this. These weddings. And I was like, oh, and that your work actually opened my eyes to what the Indian and South Asian wedding industry is here. I had never known. I'd never known. So yeah, thanks to you.
Well, there you go. I'm glad it helped.
Yeah,
and I'm glad
absolutely.
you got some inspiration from it, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a question for you. Is there a philosophy that you have is there a philosophy that you can share that when you're going into weddings, what do you want your couples to feel when they're working with you?
Yeah. So for a couple, when they're working with me, I try to be agnostic about like my presence in their life to an extent, because on the wedding day, I want them to enjoy the day, enjoy each other's company as much as possible. Because a wedding, especially if you're even if it's a 5-day wedding, those 5 days go so quick, they don't realize. They don't realize. And if last thing they are worried about logistics, about people getting stuck, or caterers running late, or deco's not done accordingly, or the photographer's doing this or that. I don't see, like, I feel like they're doing injustice to themselves. So my idea about a wedding, when I am at their wedding, my idea is like, my philosophy is like, these guys have been looking forward to this couple of days or these 5 days for probably their entire life, right? For their entire life. And I'm going to do everything in my ability to help them enjoy those 5 days to the fullest.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be that roadblock that will cause them not to enjoy that. And I'm going to try and eliminate any other roadblocks. So that's the philosophy I go by, because I had a big fat wedding in India. I like, it went like this. We had the best time ever. But if someone says, would you do it again? Yeah, of course, with the same woman. But, but like, yeah, it goes so quick, and I want my couples to enjoy it.
Absolutely. And I think you really hit a nail on one point, which is making sure the roadblocks that come through can be avoided, and we become the shields between the couples and those roadblocks, because every Indian, Pakistani, South Asian wedding just goes by so quick. It's a blur. And if you're not present in the moment and not enjoying the wedding, then you're doing a disservice to yourself. And I think that's where my philosophy as well is 100% making sure that any roadblocks that come the couple's way, we can deflect them or avoid them, and just ensuring they have a good time. They're just having fun, chilling, enjoying with us. I think if I had to put one word to the philosophy, is fun and love. Those are the sort of two words that come to my mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Having fun. You're spending so much money, and that's what you want to do. Have fun, guys. Last thing is like worry about stuff. Leave it to you. You're choosing your vendors for what they are, and they should be able to handle the stress. They should be able to. And one thing I say to my couples when we are doing our pre-wedding catch up is, your favorite word should be delegate. Just, you've got a task, you just delegate. If that doesn't involve you, just delegate. Just delegate it. You can't delegate getting makeup done on yourself and your nails, this, that, but everything else, just delegate. You'll thank yourself. And in the grand scheme of things, you might be like, oh, we get a wedding planner or that. Sometimes it's better to have a wedding planner. Sometimes you just take it off your plate, give it to someone else, let them worry about it. And if they do a shit job, you can tell them off.
Exactly. You paid them, so you can tell them off.
Yeah, unless it's family. So
don't get a wedding planner who's a family member as well. True. They'll hate you for it forever.
Yeah, true. Plus the thing is like, it's an event planner has been planning weddings for a long time. They know what goes wrong, what works. They can twist arms to get things done. Family members don't know. And you can't twist the arms.
And family members only know how to twist arms, but not the right ones all the time.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Well, wise words. But Waqar, I've got a question for you. Do you have a situation that you can share with our audience about something that has happened at a wedding and you had to jump into, try to, avoid, I would say, unsavory moment or a stressful situation?
So many pop to my mind, right?
Yeah. But one that you can share.
I think I'll change. I won't mention names, obviously, privacy reasons. I'll share a story with you. There was a wedding that we were doing. It was a ceremony time, and for whatever reason, the fathers from each side, they were coming from slightly different religious backgrounds, decided that they wanted their way of the religious ceremony happening rather than the other, and which caused a bit of rift and conflict on the spot. And the bride and groom were oblivious to this, right? Mm-hmm. They had no idea this was going on. The groom told me later that he saw me just talking to the dads, and he asked me later. But essentially what I had to do was step in, talk to both the dads, figure out where the issue was, and try to get them to reach a consensus where both of them could get their way. It just meant the ceremony would go on for a bit longer, but at least both parties would be happy and there won't be further delays to starting the ceremony. In that, I also had to then talk to the mom of the bride and the siblings and convince them to do certain actions to ensure that the timely entry happens and the wedding goes on. Though it did work out beautifully, and I think conflict was avoided. But I'll tell you what, like there are situations which are stressful, which are like, as you said earlier, like a 2 out of 10 for us. Like it's not a big deal, but it might be a big deal for this situation. Was not a big deal for me when I initially went into it, but the amount of back and forth I had to do and the convincing and the talking and just de-stressing the situation, it took a lot out of me as well. And I really had to just, when I was done with the ceremony and I was driving back home on that night, I really just had to de-stress, call my wife up, talk to her about what had happened and just let it off my chest. Because even though we are there to like make sure no stress gets to the couple and we're trying to help them out, there are certain situations which can get to us as well. So we try and take care of our own mental health that way. Yeah,
absolutely.
But that was definitely one that comes to my mind.
I think I remember that.
I'm sure you do.
Because I had no idea you were dealing with all that. Look, because I'm so
dealing with couples is easy, and we've dealt with like hundreds of couples, right, every day. Dealing with parents is not a problem as well, but sometimes when parents are very strict in their own ways, it can get a bit hard, especially when people are not showing flexibility. So that's the time when you have to come in with your soft skills, make sure they understand why they're doing the day. I literally had to remind both the dads what the day is about, and the day is about the couple.
Yeah.
Don't make it too complicated for them. Make it easy. We can do what you want. We can do what you want. Let's have a equal compromise so the couple can get along with their lives. Because once this day is over, you won't remember any of this.
Exactly.
But the couple's going to remember it for the rest of their lives. So, that was definitely a stressful situation. I don't know if you had a memory that you wanted to share about that as well. But
again, I'm not going to share names, but I'll tell you one stressful situation. It was definitely a 10. It was definitely a 10, maybe a 12 out of 10. It was, So the backdrop was beautiful. We were set up in this beautiful venue in the Yarra Valley. Everything was just beautiful, beautiful day. Love it. Nothing could go wrong. Like nothing could go wrong. And a priest comes in. There's a beautiful mandap that has been set up. It's a Hindu wedding. The priest comes in. He's setting up the mandap with everything, right? Like, and me and the bridegroom, they wanted to do a first look. We did the first look by the mandap.
Nice.
We do all that. And they wanted to do some photos at the mandap. We do all that. They go, and I have some time to set up for the reception. So I was like, okay, I'm going to set up myself for the reception later on, so that I don't have to run from the ceremony. So I just turn around, walk while the pandit or the priest is in the mandap, and for some reason he either leans on the mandap structure, which is big, which has got like a roof structure to it. And this is all before the ceremony, by the way. Right. So he leans on it and one of the pillar falls with him pinned underneath the roof structure on the ground and his head profusely bleeding.
Oh my God.
Now, there are only so many pundits in Melbourne. Jeez. This is 4 p.m. somewhere, 4 p.m. in the day. We are at least an hour and a half drive away from Melbourne Metro.
Any hospitals, any ambulances, anything pretty much.
So luckily, one of the ladies from the venue, she knew first aid, so she administered first aid. He was fine, but the thing is, now we don't have a pundit to get the bride and groom married.
Or a mandap.
Oh
my God.
And the guy who did the decor and the mandap was already setting up for another wedding. So he had to leave that, come to this, to disassemble this. So a wedding that was supposed to start at 4 ended up starting at 6 without a pundit because we couldn't get a pundit. No priest was driving. We couldn't find a priest on that day.
Who did the ceremony?
The ceremony was literally done by the elders of the family.
Oh, wow. It was done in the olden days, I'm assuming.
Pretty much that. But it was the fact that what do we do at this point of time, right?
Wow.
At that time, it was so critical. The bride and groom were like, okay, what happens now? So they were clueless. We were like, okay, look, that's okay. And I got to say, majority of the vendors came around and said, hey, if you decide to get married at proper ceremony again, we will do everything for you for free.
So sweet.
Like, I know the makeup artist. She came around and said, "I'll do your makeup for free." I was ready to do the photos for free. The videographers, everyone, like it was that. But the thing is, at that point of time, like the poor priest, thank God nothing happened to him. He's well, healthy. He's back to getting people married. But situations like this can happen.
Wow, that is unexpected,
That is
especially if
so
someone's bleeding and he's the main guy who's going to run the ceremony.
Exactly.
And then the mandap falls. Oh my God.
And it's not even like a celebrant or something that someone can just
no one
slot
can
in.
replace it. Yeah.
Correct, right? So it was pretty. Yeah, as I said, it was a 12 on scale of 10. Pretty stressful. But the bride and groom were champions. They were like, okay, you know what? We'll be fine. Just get married. The couple of moments that the bride said, "Oh, I was looking forward to getting the Mangalsutra and the Fairas and all that." They couldn't get it done. But then, which is unfortunate, but stressful situation.
I think you got to remember why you're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's to get married to that person. Yes, I understand rituals and ceremony rituals are very, very important. But in a situation like that, kudos to the couple, man. I'm very, very impressed with them that they went ahead without compromising on their emotional day that they have set for themselves. Oh, that's crazy.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. So it's a good segue for us. Let's talk about how wedding days look for us.
Oh, yes. That's a big question.
Absolutely.
That a lot of couples ask us as well.
Yeah.
Cool. And I think a key important, and feel free to jump in where you think I'm going off script. But I think a very key important thing for all couples is to make sure that they are making timelines with photography and videography in mind, and keeping those timings and spaces for us to come in and do our job and make sure that we can capture those memories for you. I'm not talking about the actual events, like the ceremony and reception will happen in its own time, the entrances will happen in its own time, but actually having time for getting ready. So like, for example, Nick, getting ready with the bride, how much time do you recommend?
Usually like anything between 60 to 90 minutes is good, because I always think about it. The getting ready is the point in the day when it hits the bride that she's getting married today. Because until the point she gets into that lehenga or the dress or whatever she's wearing, her wedding attire, the bride and pretty much the family is going through the norms of doing stuff to go to an event. That event becomes the bride's wedding when she gets into that dress. That switch happens. The mom and dad see that change when she gets into that dress, and that hits them. Hold on a minute, it's our daughter's wedding. Or same with the son. When he gets in different cultures, there are different traditions. In the Punjabi culture, there is Sehra Bandi and all that. When those events start happening, families realize, hold on a minute, we're not doing it just for the sake of doing it. It is a big, so have enough time to go through it, not just as a ritual, but go through it with meaning. We'd go through it and give us the ability to, capture it in a way that it is very meaningful rather than authentic, rather than just like take it. I hate to do tick in the box photography. Tick in the box photography means we got the photo for the sake of getting the photo. Intentional photos, intentional moments is what we want, because you're going to remember that. That's what it's going to be. So getting ready, 60 to 90 minutes is a good amount of time we would be able to. And we love doing getting ready photos, and also love doing first looks with the family.
Absolutely. That's a big thing that you started, right?
Yeah. So first looks with family is mind freaking blowing. If you're not doing with your parents, start doing it.
Parents and siblings, you got to do first looks with your daughter or son. You have to do first looks, because it's just a great memory. And I think that's also another moment when it hits the parents.
Absolutely.
That my daughter's going or my son's getting married. And it's a big day for them.
Yeah. And mornings are chaos. Mornings are chaos, absolutely chaos inside the house. That's a good way to just break up the chaos and say, okay, enough of the chaos. Now let's get into the wedding mood. Like, let's understand this is things are going to get emotional from here. So I think every first look we've done, along with the couple and along with the bride and along with the family, even we have cried.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm emotional every time. I'm like hiding my tears behind the camera, making sure the camera's not shaking while I'm getting a bit teary-eyed. I'm like, hopefully no one's watching.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that happens, and it's one of the skills that we have to be able to pull that off. Which again, we want that for all of our couples. Trust me, it's so special.
Oh, it is 100% so special. So if you're arriving, or if we're arriving in the morning for getting ready at the brides, should her hair and makeup be done already?
Yes.
Okay.
Get the hair and makeup done.
So it's already done.
She's get
already dressed up.
It depends upon what, like, if she wants to take the photos. Yeah. If the bride is really keen about getting photos of the dress by itself and all that, then she can be in PJs or gowns or whatever they're called. I have no idea, but
PJs.
But PJs. We'll call it PJs. And we can do some photos. We like to do some photos with the designer lehenga or a dress that she's going to wear. But if she's fully dressed, love getting shots of mom and dad putting the dupatta on, or sisters putting the dupatta on, all of that. So we love doing that. Again, don't want to do tick in the box photography. We want to do intentional. We want to make sure that those moments are there, so that there is of some significance.
And we discussed this with our couples anyway in our pre-wedding meeting that we do 6 to 8 weeks before the wedding day to know exactly what they want. Do they want getting ready photos? Do they want detailed shots, first looks and all that, and what their timeline's like? So it's kind of, I guess it's a bit more custom depending on the bride and what she wants, and the groom on what he wants. But it's a good idea to be ready in your hair and makeup.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Keep just tell the makeup artist just stay until the first look is over, because you're gonna need those touch-ups.
100%. You're gonna get a bit teary-eyed.
Definitely. If you want good suggestions for some makeup artists, we've got some really good, because most of the makeup artists that we work with, they know that we're going to do a first look and they'll have to stay back.
Absolutely. I think they're quite used to it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they enjoy it as well. They get teary-eyed.
That's absolutely. I mean, I know there's some makeup artists have come and said to me, it's like, oh, that was really, really good, really emotional. So Cool. On the wedding day itself, right, Waqar?
Any advice, tips you want to give for the wedding day? Because I know we can't go through the whole timeline. It'll become a whole episode about just planning a whole timeline wedding. But any other key moments that you want to mention there?
I one of the things that I find, right, like sometimes couples can get too serious on the wedding day.
I 100% agree with that.
Right? Sometimes they can get worried about, like, of course there is that nervousness. There's that nervousness about, hey, we're getting married. All eyes are on us. There is these 2 guys following us with cameras, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. And you can have those situations. But what you want to do in that scenario is forget about us. We're not, like, we try. I especially try to be a fly on a wall on the ceremony at least. And I know I've seen you, like, we try to do that. But what I say to the couple is, like, ceremony is not only about, like, of course there is a religious ceremony aspect to it, but just be mindful that you're getting tied into that knot with the guy sitting next to you.
Even if it's a civil ceremony.
Even if it's a civil ceremony, listen to what they're saying, interact with each other. Because from our perspective, photography and videography perspective, I'm just looking for that shared smile with each other, those stolen smiles with each other. I'm just looking for that. Those real. People don't take it too seriously. Enjoy.
And remember to look at each other when the ceremony is going on. Because a lot of couples, I feel like they forget to look at each other. And they're just looking at the priest or the pandit or the mulana.
Absolutely.
I think it's important to look at each other.
Absolutely. Well, and another tip I say in terms of photography perspective, don't forget your family photos.
Very important.
Don't forget your family photos. I think, I don't know how many other photographers say this, but from my perspective, I know for photographers, all those artsy photos of the bride and groom are important. But from my perspective, yes, they are important, but even more important are the family photos.
Because that's the one that you come back to.
That's the only
most
ones
of the
that
times.
Most people, we all turn to sand one day, and people want to see who's related to who and how they're related, and they only can see that through your wedding family photos. So don't skip on family photos.
100%. I think that's very good advice. I agree with that.
No, definitely.
I want to talk about one thing, which is a little bit of my pet peeve.
Yeah.
A lot of videographers and photographers who are starting out who look at great work, they think, even couples nowadays, because technology is so accessible, they think gear matters.
Oh,
It's not the tool, it's the person using the tool.
yeah.
And if they know how to use light and their tool well, they will do a good job. So thoughts on, does gear really matter?
No. According to the great Vin Diesel, it's not about the car; it's about the driver. So the gear doesn't matter. And I think our product is very emotion driven. Couples are asking you about what gear you use. Then I don't know why the couples are worried about that. They should be worried about what energy do you bring to the wedding.
I agree. 100%.
That's it.
It's the energy that we bring, not just us. Any vendor that's working with you, it's very important what energy that they're bringing, and that energy needs to match your energy and your wedding vibe and wedding style. Because if it doesn't match, it'll be a mismatch, and you'll feel it straight away. Which gets on to the next thing. We've established gear doesn't matter. How much does lighting matter?
I'm going to sound really controversial when I say this. I might rub some feathers here and there, but a good photographer should know how to use available light. Keyword being available. Wedding's not a production. It's not a style shoot. So we got to come prepared with whatever we can come. Then the other thing that we need to understand is there are venues that have a certain ambience for a reason. And we got to respect that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to make sure that the lighting is, and the gear now is freaking incredible. You can shoot in semi-dim conditions and still get quite sharp pictures and videos. So there shouldn't be a reason for us to just, completely whitewash the entire place and kill the ambience.
You're right. Especially when couples have paid so much to a venue to create a certain ambience.
Absolutely.
If you're just going to get all the lights on to make sure that your footage looks great, then I think you're doing a bit of a disservice. Not a bit, quite a lot of disservice to the style and the vibe that the couple was trying to create for their guests.
Absolutely.
Available light, work with that, and ensure you can get the best product with that. Because if you can't do that, then adding more stuff will not always make the thing look good.
So that is another thing that I want to touch base on when we start talking about lighting. And there are trends. Trends come and grow, right? Remember those times when you used to wear, grooms used to wear suits with white shoes?
Yes.
Yeah. Try doing that now.
What works?
It's so cringe.
Yeah.
Right? There were trends in photography where everything was black and white except the face. Right? So that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? So trends go. So be true to the ambience, be true to the colors. I personally think that will keep the photos timeless. Because today that trend might look cool, but 30 years from now, the couples are going to look at the photos and say, we didn't look anything like this on their wedding. Suit wasn't that color, or the lehenga was red and it looks orange. So, or the ambience of the place was dim and we had these amazing candles everywhere and we had this amazing setup, but it looks like it's a well-lit
Flashlights.
place. Absolutely.
Everywhere,
So just be mindful of that, because you're not shooting photos for that specific day and just look, and for Instagram, the photos are for albums for future generations to see.
Absolutely. So what you're trying to say is you don't like Instagram filters.
No. No Instagram filters for me, man. Like, every time I post a photo and someone says, hey, what filter did you use? It's like, rage.
I get that. And that's how you create timeless videos and photos, right? Absolutely. Keeping it natural, keeping it look authentic, and keeping it how on the day it was, right? Otherwise, it's not going to look genuine. It's not authentic.
Absolutely. Yeah. And look, don't get me wrong. There's certain editing you should do where things that...
You should craft your own style. I think that's very important. You should have your own style. your own tone, your own textures, your own sort of look and feel, but at the same time, try to keep it more natural.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially skin tones. I feel like one of my pet peeves is if I see off skin tones in photos or videos, I'm like, this guy's not doing the right job. He can do spend a little bit more time, just get the skin tones right.
Yeah.
And skin tones,
getting skin tones right is difficult.
Oh, 100%.
It's difficult. It's not easy.
It comes with experience.
Especially
South Asian skin.
Yeah, it is difficult.
And the varying range of tones.
And what happens is, again, this goes into that alleyway where how light reflects back on the skin as well. So a lot of times I've seen it's a bright sunny day. The bride's wearing a nice, beautiful red lehenga, and that red lehenga is casting a red light on the skin. So you got to be mindful of all that as well.
Or even if you're shooting in on a bright sunny day in like a green patch.
Exactly.
There's so much green being reflected in your eyes, under your eyes.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get rid of that green. Yeah. It's not an easy job. It takes a skilled professional to do that.
Yeah. Or don't shoot
there. Don't shoot there. Easiest job, don't do that.
Don't shoot there. Yeah.
Because it's a wedding. So normally I've worked on a couple of film sets. What we do is if it's a green patch, you would actually put some black cloth underneath and stand on that. That way it stops reflecting any light.
Yeah.
But because it's a wedding, you can't do that. So you got to make do with what you have.
What you do. Yeah,
so either upskill yourself or don't shoot in a green patch.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Cool. How do you go about building your story for your wedding videos? Like, for me, it is very easy. I got to take photos and I don't have to build a story. But from your perspective, what helps you to build a story?
So I think the story building aspect starts way before we even press record or even show up on the wedding day. From the initial inquiry, when the couple shares a little bit about themselves, and the pre-scheduled meeting that we have before they even book us to get to know what their vibe's like. I love to know a little bit about their story, how they met, what inspires them, what does love mean to them, what motivates them. And that really helps me get a sense and understanding of what their personalities are and how they blend, how they vibe with each other. And that kind of then helps me going into the wedding day, knowing what I have learned with them over my few interactions before the wedding. And then also showing up at the wedding and talking to them. I conduct interviews with the couples, sometimes with the parents when we have time, sometimes with the siblings, just depending on what kind of a wedding week it's going to be. And then there's speeches, right? There's speeches at multiple events or some events. So the story all comes together when we sit on the edit, but I think the storytelling aspect starts from the first interaction because that also guides us on how we plan the shoot, how we shoot their wedding, and how we match their personalities with that style of shoot. Is it regal? Is it luxury? Is it authentic? Like, what style are they after? And you kind of judge all of that from the interactions that you have with the couple. And then obviously the key moments happen in the edit, right? Where you go through every single audio that you have, listening to every single interview, every single speech, and then figuring out, all right, what's the best way to tell the story based on this couple's personality and making it unique to them.
Yeah.
I think that's very important because if you just pick any random speech or any random interview point and try to put a story together, yes, it might work. It will look all right, but it won't have that emotional depth and connection and you won't feel it. Whereas what we try to do is we try and ensure that we listen to every single audio piece that we have and tell the most intentional story, which has varying emotions throughout the wedding video edit and also has varying storylines or plot lines. So it's working on multiple levels, through visuals, through audio, through the music that's selected. And when that comes together and you watch a video, even though you don't know the couple, you've never met them, you've never seen them, if you watch some of those videos, you will feel an instant connection with them. And I'm not obviously not tooting my own horn, but I've definitely gotten that from a lot of the couples that inquire with us that we just love the way your wedding films look. And I'll tell you the secret sauce now. It's the wedding edit.
Yeah. That's it. The wedding edit.
Right? Shameless plug, but it's the wedding edit, right? It's the way it's put together that ensures that someone who doesn't even know you can also connect
Correct.
with you at a level that you wouldn't think you would connect with. And that's how we put it together. It's a long and lengthy process, but it's very rewarding when you see the final film put together.
Yeah.
And there are moments I'll share, right? There are moments when you know you finished an edit and you watch it in one go. And rare for me now because I've been doing it for so long, but there's still times when I get goosebumps or I get a bit teary-eyed or emotional while watching the edit that we've done. I'm like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
And those are the films you've not just done justice, you went above and beyond.
Yeah.
You can feel it that, wow.
Yeah.
If it's hitting me, it's definitely going to hit the couple.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And for me, when I look at that's why I have massive respect for you guys. Like for you, especially like when you do the wedding videos, I'm like, man, I wouldn't be able to come up with a story. But you say a very important point. Like the story starts even before the wedding. So lot of the times when we get an inquiry, we really love to get as much details as possible. So the questions that we ask in our inquiry form are intentional. Like I get inquiries sometimes that they say, I have questions like, how did you find me? Give me a quick brief about your love story. And the couples leave it empty.
Those are the kind of inquiries you don't know how to connect with, right?
I'm sorry, but I don't end up responding to them because I don't know you guys as much to be able to connect. So for us, it's a business, but at the same time, for us, it is something that we want to help to capture in the best possible way. But Waqar, I have one question for you. I understand it, but for our couples, you touched on something. You touched something saying about the audio. Get a little bit technical and help us understand how do you capture audio on the day, be it speeches, be it the rituals, be it whatever it is, reading the vows and all that. How do you capture it? What redundancies you have in place, and how important is audio?
People probably won't like this, but I personally think audio is as important as video, or if not more. You will always be able to watch a bad video with good audio, but you will not be able to sit through a good video with bad audio.
Are you saying about those movies I download from 1, 2, 3 Bollywood or something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If they have crap audio and they have amazing visuals, you won't be able to sit through it. You just won't be able to watch it. So I think audio is one of my pet peeves. Like I really want to get it right at every wedding. And that's why we have a whole audio bag, which is separate to our video bag, which only has audio devices in it. So the way we capture audio is we've got standalone audio devices, which act as backups in front of speakers. We have wireless audio devices, which are connected to the lectern, put on people if they're doing speeches or if you're interviewing them. We also have dedicated standalone audio devices, which can plug into the sound system of the DJ or the sound system at the venue. These are at minimum, at any wedding that we're covering, we're capturing 3 audio sources at all times while the event's happening. So give you an example of a reception, right? We'll have a audio device out of the DJ's sound system, so we can capture all the music, we can capture all the speeches that are going through his system or anything that's being said on the day. Then we'll have a little standalone device, which will be a backup device in front of the speaker. That's another source. Then for the speeches, we will also set up our wireless devices on the lectern. Or if it's a handheld mic, we'll put a little wireless device on that to make sure that we can capture that audio from there as well. And in the edit, we then mix and match audios, right? Because we want to make it we want you to, in your full video edits that you're watching, we want you to have a feel like there is live audio from it on the day, but there's also really clean audio recorded. And we mix it in a way that it looks feels very natural to you when you're watching it. Like you're watching a film, right? In real life.
Yeah.
So when you watch a film when you watch a film, any Hollywood film, any Bollywood film, you will have a little bit of sound from the environment. You'll have some sound of the dialogue, which is very obvious, underlying music, but also environment. So that's why we have these 3-4 audio devices that are running. We capture it, we mix it in a way that it kind of feels like a documentary audio. And I think that's very, very important, because essentially the full videos that we do, like full coverage of the ceremony, full coverage of the reception, speeches, entrances, cake cutting, dances, all that. More than the couple, the parents are going to sit down and watch it. They're going to sit it with friends. They're going to watch it with friends and family. And if the audio is not right, they won't be able to tolerate it, and they'll turn it off straight away. So guys, audio is important. Invest in audio.
That's it. That's gold. That's definitely, and I agree. Like, because, one thing I am really grateful that photos don't capture any audio.
Lucky you. Yeah.
So
you've seen me before a ceremony or reception starts. How I'm running around just trying to set audio up. I'm not even worried about the video angles at that stage. I'm just like, I want to get the audio right. Make sure there's a mic on the groom jacket. There's a mic on the bride. Oh.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure while doing that, you might be capturing some really spicy gossip as well.
Hey,
it stays there.
It stays there, and it's archived on a server.
Yeah.
It's only worth 3 BTC at the moment. If someone wants to buy some spicy audio, I'm selling it for 3 Bitcoins.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome. No, but I mean, I completely agree. Having great audio makes or breaks the wedding film. But yeah. No, thanks. Because a lot of the times, like, couples don't really understand like how the audio is captured, and why we take so much time. So that kind of also helps us to plan accordingly. So a lot of times we will tell our couples that, hey, just give us like 5-10 minutes or even 20 minutes sometimes before the reception starts, so you can go and set up audio.
100%. That's very important.
Yeah, no, incredible.
Got a question for you though.
Yes.
I worked with a myriad of photographers over time.
Mm-hmm.
Some are amazing, some are okay. Not talking about work, the personality. What do you think, how important is the personality of the photographer that you're working with, and how much it needs to resonate with the couple? I'll tell you why I'm asking this, right? In Australia and in general, I feel photographers generally lead majority of majority of the coverage. So whether it's getting ready, whether it's the couple session that we're doing, the portrait session, whether it's family photos, apart from actual planned events, the photographer's leading the day, and they're ensuring that the right coverage is happening. And I know from experience working with a good photographer who knows and is mindful of time and knows exactly the kind of coverage they need, intentional coverage and emotional coverage, it really helps us, because then we don't have to double up in getting the same shot. Yeah. We can be recording over each other's shoulder. We can be getting that moment and saving time for the couple. So talk to me a little bit about that. How do you go about doing that, and how does it help our couples?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to answer this in 2 parts. First, I'm going to answer about the personality of the photographer, and then I'm going to answer about how a photographer and videographer should work together on the wedding day. Right. So the first part is the personality of the photographer, and it kind of goes to any vendor that is on the day. You are there not just to take photos, but you are there also sometimes as an emotional support, as a on the day coordinator. The attitude and the personality that brings will make or break the day. The reason is you want to be there for the couple. You want to be there. You want to bring energy in such a way that they feel uplifted. The couple feel, not only the couple, the couple's family feel like this photographer and videographer or this vendor or this artist is part of a family. I'm pretty sure like every wedding that we've been to, all the couples have just said this, and their families have said like, you're part of our family now. That is so important to me. It's incredible, because it not only makes my work easy, because then everyone's so friendly around me, everyone's happy around me, and I get some incredible photos and incredible emotions out of them, and then I can coax them and push them to that extra limit without feeling uncomfortable. But at the same time, I go home happy. I go home like, man, I had like, even after shooting for 12, 13, 14, 16 hours a day, I'm still going back home. I'm like, I'm happy about how it was. Taking back so much memories, like how, like we, and you're there with the bride. Sometimes you're there with the bride from 7 a.m., 6 a.m., right? Like 6 a.m. I don't know about you guys, like 6 a.m., I'm pretty grumpy. So, so
I know.
and then if I'm surrounded by grumpy people, a person who's not got a great attitude or a great personality, it's just going to spoil my day. And if it's the biggest day of my life. So having a great personality, having a right mindset when you get to the wedding is the biggest, like bring one less battery, but get a better attitude on the wedding day. Like honestly, it's so much important. The second aspect is about like working along with the photographer and videographer together. Now, I believe my duty is not only towards the couple, but also the other vendors and artists that are present there. I'm there to do a job. So is the videographer. So is the decor. So is the MC.
So is the content creator.
So is the content creator. So is everyone. So let's not go there. But what I feel is like, yes, the photographer leads. And the reason I think the photographer leads is because we don't have the luxury of, sorry to the videographers, but we don't have the luxury of setting on record and then let things happen in front of it.
I agree.
We have to click before it happens. So because if we see what, like, to make you understand, if we've seen the moment happen,
you can't click it.
We can't. Like we've missed it. We have to anticipate it.
It's a lot of anticipation. I can see that with you.
Yeah, I'm always like, I don't know. I look like an owl on that day. Like my head's just like this, right? So it is anticipation. So that's the reason for photographers lead, because we want to take that anticipation out of that equation a bit. Of course, anticipation and getting those shots create some of the best shots, but also being able to not force those moments, but create an environment that we know those moments are going to occur and be ready for it. So I know I like to do that and I've got tools, and now I understand how I can get those emotions out. So I kind of lead, but I'm always mindful that, hey, my videographer is over my shoulder. So I'll always say to Waqar, I was like, Waqar, get this.
Yeah.
Capture this.
You always tell me before, because you've already anticipated what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's giving me stress actually thinking about it, because I've never thought about it that way, that the anticipation plays such a key role.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons I never got into photography.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, that anticipation is where I thrive. I love it. Like every time, like I know that like, hey, it's going to happen and I'm able to capture. It's like a sniper getting a headshot. Again, too graphic, but it's like that. Like if I'm able to get that, I'm like, man. But at the same time, if I miss it, I'm like, yeah, got it. Yeah. So that's why there's that situation where the photographer is leading, is because to avoid that anticipation and being present and creating those moments. And a good photographer will communicate to the videographer, and even the content creator. So even sometimes the couples as well. And it's the first time for the couple, so they don't know. And last thing you want to do is create not work along with the videographer and then just create unnecessary stress for the couple. They don't need it. They don't need it. Yeah, and that's why. And look, people have different styles. People have different personalities. The reason we decided to work with each other, because we work together and we were like, hold on a minute. Our styles are the same. We get along pretty well. We're not in each other's ways.
And we can anticipate each other's moves and poses.
Exactly.
So it is so much more efficient.
Exactly.
I remember there have been times where we want to do sunset photos, for example, right? and we've literally got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And within those 5 minutes, we can create some absolute gold just because we know how we're going to operate under that stressful situation and how we're going to pose and how we're going to get those moments.
Yeah.
So I think it's really helpful hiring vendors who have worked with each other in the past and know how each other work.
This is going to lead to another controversial thing that I'm going to say is like portrait photos for couples. What's an ideal amount of time that you should spend, right? Like,
it's a very good question, actually.
Yeah. I personally think you should be able to get some really good photos in 20 minutes.
See, I agree with that, but I will disagree because if you're just doing photos, 20 minutes is
20
enough.
minutes is more than enough.
The thing with video is you got to take multiple angles to tell a story.
Absolutely.
And you're not always shooting straight. So when you add the video aspect in it, I think it should go up to at least 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But I think about 45 minutes.
Yeah, you don't, because it becomes repetitive unless you want to go to a different location.
Correct. Yeah.
Then we can definitely do 2 locations, but then you got to factor in travel time and all that. But 1 location, 45 minutes is gold.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can create some absolute gold in that time that the couples will remember and cherish.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. Definitely, no.
Since we're on couple portraits and couple sessions, right? It doesn't happen quite often nowadays, but it used to back in the day. But I think it's also good advice for other people who are listening, and it's also a good reminder for our couples as well. What if couples are shy or they're a bit stiff? How do we capture those moments? How do we make sure they are being their genuine selves in front of the camera?
Yeah. Oh, if I had $1 for every time a couple said to me, hey, we are a bit shy in front of the camera, I would not be doing photography. I would be retired, sipping pina coladas on a Jamaican beach. But yeah, I've not got $1 for that. But anyway, yeah, so I get it because I am that way. I'm great on the other side of the camera, but in front of the camera, I'm absolutely shit house. Like, yeah, you should see my wedding photos. Yeah, I have no idea what I was doing. But that opened my eyes when I was on the other side of the camera. And then I was like, hold on a minute. Is this how awkward I make my couples feel? That's when I realized like, that's not what it should be like. Our couple shouldn't be feeling that way. So a lot of the times, like for us, like when we are shooting, our couples are usually just spending time with each other.
It's like a date.
Yeah. It's like they have dressed up really well and going for a walk. That's pretty much it. It's that, and we try to capture. So in that scenario, what happens is you don't have to worry about how we are looking in a specific pose, or what we've got tricks that we can get you walk and talk to each other and get some really good photos. I did a workshop in 2015 for environmental portraits, and they taught about how environment is important for your portraiture. So going a little bit technical, sometimes the couples get worried about that hey, how are we going to look? The reason the photographer is telling you to do something like that, he's just not looking at you too, but also looking everywhere around and where you are placed. There are rules of photography that we use so that they look good. Rules of thirds or leading lines or composition. We use that, right? So in terms of that, like, don't worry about feeling shy. You'll feel with us. You don't have to worry about, hey, we are stepping. How are we going? How are we posing? How are we standing? Where are we going to keep our hands? That. There's hardly any of that. There's more. You guys, as just married, very well dressed, and going for a walk. That's an evening walk. That's what it is.
It's beautiful. I always say to my couples, I think this is one very good piece of advice. Just talk to each other when you're in a couple session, and make fun, make some jokes, have fun with each other, because we will capture the in-between candid moments. And if we really do need any styled poses, we will get you in those positions and capture those as well. That's not a problem. But majority of the gold comes when you're being just yourself with each other and you're not worried about us being there. And we'll make sure we create an environment which is very relaxing and very chill.
Yeah.
So you can have fun with us as well.
Quite often, like with us, I've got this dirty big speaker hanging off me. We're playing some tunes, so that's pretty chill. Quite a lot of times we've got champagne. I'm doing a champagne pop, so doing that. We've got your bridal party hyping you up. So I remember the last wedding we did. The couple literally they were just ready to party, man. They were just party. So we were playing some music at the portrait shoot, and then it was difficult to get them to stop dancing. So I was like, oh man, this is going to be a fun. So
when you're having fun, you're having fun.
Having fun. And another thing about that is, right, surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you, not bring you down. So the shyness runs away, and you just, if you've got a bridal party, just have the best people around you that are just going to just like,
hype you up.
Hype you up,
your hype
celebrate
man, hype
you.
Girl,
Absolutely. Celebrate you for who you guys are, and not be a downer, but an uplifter.
100%. That's really good advice. Surround yourself with people who uplift you on the day.
100%.
Done.
Yeah. Cool. How important is a wedding timeline, and how early should a couple start planning that?
Wedding timelines are the key to make or break your experience of the wedding day. And I think you should start planning it as soon as everything's locked in terms of your vendors, in terms of your rough plan for the day, in terms of guests, everything. As soon as that's locked in, start planning your rough timeline. If you have a wedding coordinator from the venue, share that timeline with them. They generally have enough experience and they've done enough weddings to see if it's working or not, and they might suggest some changes. We also recommend catching up with your photographer and videographer about 6 weeks or 8 weeks before the wedding and sharing those timelines and just getting advice from them about if the timings are working, if there's anything that needs to be moved around, to make sure that you are using our time efficiently, but also getting the best coverage possible from us and ensuring that nothing. I'll give you an example, right? There's been times when couples will have a dance, speech, dance, speech, dance, speech. That generally does not work well because you've got people focused on listening to a speech, and then all of a sudden they're like hyped up with energy for dancing and then going back to a speech. Also, from a videography point of view, we have different setups for speeches and dances. So we got to change our lenses, our cameras for the speeches. Then we got to change again for the dances. So it's not an efficient use of our time on the day. So I always recommend having speeches in one block, dancing in another block if you're having performances and stuff. So that's just an example. So definitely plan your timeline as soon as everything's locked in. Share it with your wedding day coordinator, and also catch up with your wedding photographer, videographer 6 to 8 weeks out of the wedding. Share that timeline with them. They'll make sure it's working for photography and video coverage as well as other things, and suggest some changes if needed. And yeah, you should be good to go from there.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, absolutely. I love to get the wedding timeline. It's a good document to have. Helps you plan your wedding. And if you don't know how to do one, get in touch with us.
Yeah,
we will help you.
And it shows a good experience for you guys as well. You're not stressing on the day on what's next, how does it work, or you're not relying on the coordinator or the MC to tell you or the DJ to tell you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like it can get pretty stressful very quickly.
And one thing is, it's not just us who needs a wedding timeline. Everyone needs a wedding timeline. The caterer, the DJ, the MC, the wedding coordinator,
and the family,
venue MC, family. Everyone will ask you for one. So make sure you're on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, another question for you, Waqar. This is going to be a tough one. All right.
I'm ready for tough questions.
What is one wedding trend you would be happy that people stop doing?
I know exactly the one I'm thinking. I have a feeling you might have the same one, but I am sick and tired of the shoe game.
Oh, I thought you would never say.
I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about, but the shoe game where the bride and groom are putting up their shoes and the MC or the friend is asking questions. It's in theory, a great game. And I understand the concept. I understand you want to get everyone involved to get to know the couple. But majority of the time, the guests are not interested. They're not enjoying the game.
Yep.
They're not looking at it.
Yeah.
And very soon the questions become very repetitive. And I don't think it adds much value to your reception.
No.
But rather sometimes can and has caused conflicts between the couple when a question has been asked and both have not agreed on it.
Yeah.
And then stuff that you don't expect because of the adrenaline rush comes out of your mouth. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not going to share that story. I think that's one trend I would
100%.
easily let go.
Yeah. Stop with that shoe game, please. It's overdone.
It's-
It's not unique. Every wedding, it's a waste of time.
Yeah. You would rather go around and just meet your friends and family
100%.
in that time and
100%.
get to know them and spend time with your friends that you haven't had a chance to talk all day. There's so many other things you can do in that time. So
Absolutely.
just don't do that, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop the shoe game. I don't know. Yeah. We sign a petition here. No, it's the same for me. It's the same for me. Absolutely. The whole reason I asked is because there's been so many weddings and I'm like, man, we got to open the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be awesome. But if you're invested into it, okay. Yeah. Fine.
Like, we'll still shoot it.
Yeah.
We'll still be there cheering you guys on.
Yeah.
But it's probably something that we are not looking forward to the most on the wedding day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think last question I want to
Yeah.
ask you is, what's one thing that every couple should do at their wedding?
Ooh. One thing that a couple should do at their wedding.
I have one. I'll share after.
Oh wow, that's a very, very good one. Yeah, I'm not gonna say all the cliche things. Have fun and enjoy your day and don't stress and all that. On the wedding day, I think at least have proper drink a lot of water. Eat your meal that you've paid for.
So many couples don't get to eat.
Don't get to eat. Yeah. Get a good night's sleep.
Very important.
And also and get the family photos.
Oh, that's beautiful. I think you've covered the 4 main things.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. I thought I had one, but I've got 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you are into it, please do first looks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is one of those rare moments that you are with each other during the wedding day and you're not surrounded by chaos and you're not surrounded with other people talking in your ear. And you can just have that personal one-on-one moment, seeing each other in your wedding dress and realizing that this is the moment it's happening. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're into it, please do it. If you're not, I understand. If you're right. Second is at your reception, please take 5 minutes out with each other, not on the stage or on the bridal table, but go to the back of the dance floor, or if there's stairs, go up there, just away from the crowd, hold each other's hand and just visually take a picture of that moment.
Yeah.
That all these people are here to celebrate us.
I know.
And this is our moment.
Incredible.
Just take it in for 5 minutes
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
and look at each other in a loving way and just embrace that moment. I think that's very important. Couples nowadays tend to forget to take that moment in. And it's a good way to just slow down for a moment and just take it all in. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. My answers sound ridiculous now. But no, that's
No,
very
but
deep.
yours are very practical.
Yeah, yeah.
Mine are just more emotion based. So I think both are equally important.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No,
Good night's sleep is very important.
yeah. I mean, it plays. One of the things I also say to couples is like, if you've got multi-day events, if you know, try and avoid having them back to back to back. If you can put a day in between, put the day. It helps.
Definitely.
Helps sometimes, but if it's not possible logistically, we get it. But if you're able to do a wedding, your wedding ceremony on a Thursday and a reception on Saturday or Friday and Sunday, it helps. You get that rest. Sometimes it's better, but
Rest is always better.
Yeah, yeah. So, to us as well. Yeah, for
everyone.
us as well.
For
So,
everyone.
yeah, but no, cool.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much
That's a
where we
wrap, I
had it.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. I mean, I hope you guys got something out of this, and thanks for
tuning in, listening,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
if you need to inquire with us,
Send an
links are below
inquiry
in the show
and
notes.
fill some more
Yeah.
details, please. Come on.
Fill
That'll
those
be-
details in.
Absolutely,
Let us know how you
absolutely,
went.
absolutely. And hit us up if you need any help planning your wedding. Cool. All right. Adios.